Hi, I'm Emily and welcome to my very first YouTube video. I am so excited. This is something I've been wanting to do for a good while now. I will go into a bit more detail as to why I'm doing it now, but I just wanted to say if you've maybe come over from my Instagram or you maybe follow me on TikTok, or if you don't know who I am at all, thank you so much for even just being here. I am a little bit nervous. I'm super excited though. A bit about me. I'm 32 from the northwest of England. And I have been creating content now for full time since 2022. I am newly engaged, which is just so exciting. Again, I will touch more on that in this video, but this video is maybe just getting to know me a little bit. We do this full makeup routine, which is pretty much my everyday makeup routine. I kind of don't really experiment much with makeup. Once I find a product that I like, it stays in my makeup bag forever. It's kind of like how I treat my wardrobe. But yeah, so thank you so much, and here goes. Jump scare. I really don't like myself without makeup, but I'm trying to learn to love myself without makeup, so it's going to be a journey. Skincare is done. Ignore the mucky headband, but this is to do any sort of makeup. I have to have like everything off my face. Always, always, always SPF. I use the Charlotte Tilbury SPF 50 Flawless Primer. So basically, I've been wanting to do this for a good while now. I had originally planned to officially start my channel last year. It feels weird saying that, but I was just kind of like ready for like a new challenge really. But we had a horrible diagnosis in the family and back in June, and it just completely and utterly knocked us. I didn't handle it very well at all. Luckily things are a lot better now, but it just completely and utterly came out of nowhere. It was just the biggest reminder that no, you only get one life, and it's just not to be all doom and gloom within the first like couple of minutes of this video. But yeah, everything luckily now is a lot more positive. But just that C word, when you hear it, it's just like end of the world. Until you're sort of going through it, you learn more about it and you can kind of wrap your head around it. But I've been wanting to do this for a good while now. It's been my full-time job on Instagram now since 2022, and I'm so proud of myself now in 2026, which is insane to me that we are at that year. So full-time on my own for 4 years, and then I do post a little bit on TikTok as well. And then I'm very, very new to YouTube, so please be nice to me. SPF is done. Next step, I would normally go in with my foundation, which is this Rimmel one. I swear by this. I've been using this for years. I think it's less than a tenner, so I have like a couple of shades. So if I'm slightly more tanned or slightly more pale, I can sort of mix and match just to create the sort of desired shade to suit me, and it doesn't break the bank. It's really lovely. It goes on really nice. It's buildable, but it gives a good coverage just from like one layer, and your skin can actually breathe. But the past sort of week and a bit, I haven't been wearing any foundation, and all I've been wearing is the new Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Flawless Blur Concealer, and it is absolutely incredible. It is so good. The smallest amount, as you'll see in a second, goes the longest way. And this has just completely changed my makeup routine for me, because sometimes I just find it so much effort to put foundation on and then everything and then but this is just like you can do a couple of dots, blend it in, and you are good to go. It's even just gorgeous on its own. Just simply applying a few dots. That's actually quite a lot, to be fair, but I don't know, I'm kind of nervous doing this, but I'm excited. I am really excited. Makeup artists, please don't come at me. This is a damp beauty blender, but I just go in straight away with it. I know I'm probably like mopping up quite a lot of the product. So basically, I have been wanting to start this for a good while. And I'd say definitely there was a huge turning point for me in like the past 2 years of posting content. I just kind of felt like I didn't really fit into the sort of standard influencer. I don't love going to the events. I've been on a few brand trips, which were amazing experiences, but I think over the past 2 years, I've definitely just had this realization that as much as that's amazing, it's just not real life. It's just not for me. And there's certain aspects of this job which I absolutely love, and I think you see it all and you think you need to go down that route, but I would much rather be at home spending time with my boyfriend. It feels weird calling him fiance, and I feel like fiance just sounds really posh. I am just blending this in. There is absolutely no technique at all to what I'm doing. I like to go in on my eyes as well because I've got really quite veiny eyelids. Just with the job, I absolutely love it. I love speaking to you all. I love creating the content, but there's a side of it which I don't necessarily like. I don't like the event side of things. I find it very cliquey. I'm not based in London. I'm based in the Northwest, and I quite like that there's not a great deal going on up here. It means for me I can maintain that sense of normality and reality, because I've seen the other side of it where people get sucked into it, and I don't know, it's just not really for me. But I know it's not this huge breakthrough for me to of this sudden realization. It took me a while, because I think from the outsider looking in, you see that side of the job and you think, oh my God, that's what I want. And don't get me wrong, I am so grateful for some of the opportunities I've had. It's been amazing. But a lot of these places, you go on your own, you don't know anyone. I'd just much rather be at home, seeing my friends and family, spending time with people that I can actually have a conversation with. I went on a brand trip and I didn't necessarily have the nicest experience. There was 2 girls there who thought it was acceptable to take the piss out of my accent, and I was so upset. I was really, really embarrassed because I didn't know them, they didn't know me. I didn't know their names, they didn't know my names. I didn't know their names, they didn't know my name, but they did it in front of people, and I was so humiliated and embarrassed. And it was just that reminder of, oh my God, I didn't come here to sort of get the piss taken out of me or feel like a dickhead, even though I didn't do anything in that situation. I just spoke, and someone highlighted that my accent was maybe slightly different to theirs, and it just made me I felt like I was back in school. I went to an all-girls school as well, and I was like, oh my God, I am not being made to feel like this by people. I was so embarrassed. And I think just a couple of things happened after that, and I just was like, you know what, I am not spending my time or choosing to spend my time in this way. My friends would never do that to me, my family would never do that to me, so why am I putting myself... And I know that is not a reflection of everything. I was just really upset. But again, we're not here to dwell. This is a nice video. By the way, I always take I always take my foundation, I've got a little spot on my neck, just concealer, no foundation, and it lasts all day. The wear on this concealer is incredible. So that is pretty much the base. This sponge, by the way, is from the most gorgeous girl from Liverpool, Lucy Conlon. She's such a fab makeup artist. And then she brought out her own brushes. I feel like my makeup always looks worse until it gets better. And I use this. It's the Hourglass bronzer. And this is the most expensive item in my makeup bag. I hate buying expensive makeup. I don't know, it just doesn't sit well with me. But it's a bit battered. It lasts you over a year. And this brush, please don't judge me, but I've had this, I think, possibly since I was about 18. I'm now 32. But I just absolutely love it. So I just go in with this and just sweep it all over my lids. With my makeup, by the way, there is absolutely sort of no real technique. I always take a bit under my eyes. Then I ended up making my own palette from MAC, just because I don't like the size of a full palette in your makeup bag, because I'll use 2 of them and I'll never use them ever again. So I use MAC Red Brick, MAC Saddle, and then if I'm going out and I want a slightly bit of a glitzy eye, I'll do Amber Lights as well. You can see how loved these are. Please, again, don't judge me for my makeup. I'm not a makeup artist at all. And then I just use the same brush. So that was basically it. I know I would much rather spend my time. I just love being at home. I love seeing my mum and dad. I love seeing my family. Love spending time with my boyfriend. Again, I just can't get used to calling him my fiance. But yeah, I am newly engaged, which is just so exciting. We've been together for just over 3.5 years. I was like quite new out of like my like previous relationship, which lasted 5 years, and I was just so sworn against any men that I was just like, the next person I meet is gonna have to be the person I marry, because I am not doing that ever again. Never again. Rob, he was my very first Tinder date. I didn't want to go on Tinder, but my friends were like, just go on it. And I was like, oh, honestly, like I was mentally scarred from men. Like anyway, but I was like, you know what? I'll just give it a go. Gave it a couple of months after the breakup, obviously. Got to be respectful. And downloaded Tinder, and I was like, you know what? I'll give it a month. I'll just see. And I think maybe within like a week and a half, I got a notification, we matched. I was actually packing to go away with my mum, and we went out for drinks. Like as soon as the day I landed, we went out for drinks that night, and he was my very first and last Tinder date, which is just so lovely because he's just honestly like the best thing. He is the nicest person I've ever met in my whole entire life. Like when I met Rob, everything just kind of like made sense to me. So he is just the best thing ever. So I'm just absolutely over the moon that this has happened. But I'm scared to plan a wedding. Anyway, back to the makeup. Then I always go in, again, such a loved product. It's the MAC Costa Riche brown eyeliner. I always swear by brown. If you can hear some like rustling or anything, I've just had to bring Sooty up. So Sooty is Rob's dog, and he's now my like adopted puppy. I just absolutely love him. Sorry, he is just, let me bring him in. Come on. He's just absolutely gorgeous. Are you okay? Back to the makeup. I always a brown eyeliner. I'm gonna do this off camera because no one needs to see the faces that I pull when I'm doing this. Okay, so I always just do it in the bottom waterline. I get a bit scared doing it up in the top one. Back to the Hourglass bronzer, I then do my contour. Sort of like swirl it round, and I just pop it in my cheekbones like this. Honestly, this bronzer is incredible. It gives like such a nice glow without being shimmery. It's not cakey at all. It's nice and buildable. I always take it down my neck. It's so nice as well to keep it in your bag because it's obviously a mirror. Then I go back to my palette, MAC Charcoal Brown, and I use that to fill in my brows. So I'm just going to quickly give them a brush through. I do tint my brows as well. I use the Just For Men, like the beard dye. I tend to just fill in from the bottom and like sweep it up. So back to like why I wanted to do this, it was just more of like a bit of a challenge for me, something new. I'm very much probably like 80% Instagram, a little bit of TikTok. I still feel like I'm getting to grips with TikTok a bit, but I see something a bit different. And you know what? When I was like started editing like my videos where I'm like chatting about an item of clothing or an outfit, they'd be about 15 minutes long, and I'd be like, oh my God, I just feel like I could just talk and talk. I'm just gonna do this and we'll see where it goes. So, which is just really exciting. I always curl my lashes. I feel like this makes such a difference. I swear by this one. It's the MAC Extended Play. It's just like a really nice thin wand. It's not clumpy or anything, and it's a tubing mascara, so it comes off nice and easily. So it's starting to come together. We just now need to add like a bit of colour. Before I do that though, I'll just keep my brows in place. I swear by, it looks dirty, but it was a clear mascara, but obviously the more product you put in, the dirtier it gets. But I only use this on my brows, I promise. It's the Collection 2000, and it's just the clear mascara. I think this is like less than £2, and it's incredible. So I just brush my brows in place. It's not crispy or drying, and you can't like see the product or anything, but it does just make a difference without being too like clumpy. Okay, next we're gonna add my favorite step, which is blush. I just love blusher. I'm a big blusher fiend. Charlotte Tilbury Peach Pop Cream Blusher. I just do 2. I do a smidge on my nose. I don't know why. I feel like it makes me look a bit more alive. Smile and blend that in. Yeah, so this was basically like, it's just gonna hopefully be like a nice little outlet for me, like a slower pace of content with a powder blush. This is the Kosas Blushes Life Blist. I probably do have a bit of blusher blindness, but it's not the end of the world. By the way, in terms of with my eyes, with that palette, it does me if, you know, if I'm going out and then I'll just even go in with what I filled in with my brows, the charcoal brown, I'll do that sort of maybe on my lid, just so it's like a bit of a heavier eye, but I always sort of take my blush like up. So like smile and then blush up. Now it's time for lips, and I feel like your lip just sort of brings everything together. I always start with MAC. Again, I'm a huge MAC fan. Liquid Lip late in the shade Lady Be Good, and I just sort of draw it on. I do like to slightly overline my top lip. Let that dry for a little bit. It does dry pretty instantly anyway. If you are watching this and you've either followed me on Instagram, you followed me on TikTok, or you're sort of like brand new, please let me know like what you'd like to see. My background is in personal shopping, so I used to dress women for a living and I just absolutely love clothes. But I think over, I'd say like the past year, maybe 2 years, I have become like a lot more conscious of like where I'm spending my money. The turning point for me was in 2024. We went to Mallorca for a month and I packed a massive suitcase, another little medium case with all of these clothes for a month, and I ended up wearing probably the same 10 items and changing them, and I think it definitely just changed my whole perspective of a wardrobe. And I think when I was younger I was like, I need a brand new dress for a night out, I need this new top, I'm going away, like I need a whole new wardrobe. Whereas if you find those key pieces, like a really good jumper, a really good pair of jeans, you get so much more for your money. You get so many more outfits rather than I have got, and it seems hypocritical of me because of my job and I have got so many clothes, but I'm in the process of like narrowing everything down because we are also, sorry, this is just like me piling a load of information at you. We are also probably in the process of, we are looking to move house. We have been looking though for a good while. But I physically could not move house with the amount of stuff I have here. So I'm trying to streamline everything. So that is kind of like maybe what a lot of this channel will be, sort of really offering my advice on if you're going to spend X amount of money, like where you should be spending it, or like where I would recommend and spending a bit more money on certain things. Someone who used to shop and now I don't necessarily shop that much anymore. I'm just a lot more careful and considered with where I'm spending my money. And I think just with the fact of planning a wedding and moving house maybe at the same time is scary in itself. So maybe that's had a bit of an impact on my like spending behaviour. On top of my lip, I go in with another, I need to buy another one. This is my favourite lipstick ever, MAC Kinda Sexy. It just helps sort of like lock that in. I don't know. Again, I am not a professional makeup artist at all. If I'm maybe feeling a little bit oily, I will go in with this powder. Is it Kosas or Kosas? Here on my chin, and then just a little bit here as well. That is pretty much my full makeup routine. If, again, as I said, if I'm going out, I will just go heavier on the eyes. I kind of don't really change anything. But yeah, that is, let me take this out. So that is the full makeup look. I will make sure everything is linked below. Thank you if you're still here. Thank you for sticking with me. And yeah, I'm excited. If there's anything that you would like to see from me, please do let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I guess I will see you next time.